Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. This week is cruising by. It's the 16th day of October.
It's just been a whirlwind.
I know, zooming right through. And got some fun stuff. Later in the program, guess who we're going to talk to?
Who's that?
I thought you'd never ask. I had to pull the page out here. It is right here. Okay. Oh, MarkCheverton. We're going to be talking to MarkCheverton about online bullying. So I'm going to be visiting with a young man about that. And this is becoming a big deal. This is a really big deal. And it's not even just kids. There are adults that do this too. So we're going to be chatting about this. If you've got kids that you're maybe concerned about online bullying, or if you maybe are an adult even that's being bullied, be listening for some ideas coming up later in the program. And take a listen to this. The Roman emperor known as Nero was known for his lavish and depraved lifestyle. He ruled from 37 AD to 68 AD. Archaeologists recently unveiled what they think might be the remains of his extravagant banquet hall, a circular space that rotated day and night to imitate the Earth's movement and impress his guests. So he did that way back then. How awesome must that have been? That is, I mean, seriously, that sounds crazy, ridiculous. It's cool today. All right, coming up here in a bit, we've got some fun things. We're going to talk about a zoo in Taiwan and their lion. We're going to chat all about that in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
All right, Heidi, I don't get to ask you questions very often, but here's my question for you. Why did a man at the Taiwan Zoo leap into the African lion's den? True story. Why did he do this?
I have no idea.
His answer was to convert the lion to Christianity.
Oh, wow.
This is at the Taipei Taiwan Zoo. A man leapt into a den with two African lions, and he tried to convert them to Christianity. He shouted, "Jesus will save you." Then he raised both of his hands and yelled,
wow.
"Come bite me."
Oh, wow.
The male lion bit his right leg before zookeepers drove it away from the man with water hoses and tranquilizer guns. They said he was lucky that the lions had recently been fed, so they weren't even hungry. So the lion was only biting him just as a way to protect himself and his girlfriend. But this guy apparently, hey, I'm a Christian too, and I'm a fan that you're trying to get the word out there and all, but to lions, really?
Yeah, that's
and then what was the
crazy.
whole "come bite me"? What was that all about? That doesn't make a lot of sense. You might want to reread that part about Daniel in the lion's den. It's a completely different story. You might want to recheck that. Coming up, we got some fun things to talk about on a Friday right here on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Heidi, it's true because you heard it on the radio. A director of a movie being made in Morocco woke up to find that 70 of the film's extras have abandoned him.
Okay.
The movie was about illegal immigrants. The actors apparently were inspired by the movie because they decided to become illegal aliens themselves. The 70 Moroccans abandoned the set of the film to risk their lives sailing aboard rickety old boats over the narrow Strait of Gibraltar to Spain.
Huh.
So this is, life imitating art. So there was a movie about people who were illegal aliens, and these people were watching, what was happening on the set of this movie. They're going, wow, they have it better over there. Let's just go. So 70 extras who were pretending to be illegal immigrants decided that, hey, you know what? This don't look so bad after all. Let's become illegal immigrants. How crazy is that?
Did they make it?
I have no idea. They took off in old rickety boats to go there. So it doesn't say in the story how far they went or if they made it. So I don't know if this just recently happened. I don't know. Kind of crazy.
Crazy.
Coming up here in a bit, we've got some fun stuff. We're going to talk about your brain on drugs, and we've got a guy that does something dumb. I don't even have to pre-read those stories because that's always what it is. It's always some guy doing something dumb. Also, coming up, we've got your moment of duh, and there's somebody else doing something dumb. Again, don't have to pre-read those. I already know what it's going to be. And then we have your Scoop of the Day, and there's some really fun stuff in the Scoop of the Day today. So be sure to stick around for that. Thank you so much for listening. And again, these Moroccans who woke up and took off, we know that's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Jason Robertson, 26, and Thomas Villery, 24, were traveling Canadians. They were in the Cayman Islands, and they've been drinking, and they decided, hey, let's liven up the party with some cocaine. So he got a number from a local, and Jason called the number, found out it was the wrong number. He called again, insisting, no, this is the right number. I want to get some cocaine. So they said, well, you know what? Maybe we can help you after all. It was the Police and Customs Drugs Task Force that he was calling. An undercover policeman decided that, hey, let's set up a sale. The pair met. They handed over some cocaine. Actually, it was non-dairy creamer. Police then arrested Robertson and Villery. They fined $1,000, but since they had failed to actually buy cocaine, they were not charged with drug possession. All they really had was dairy creamer. But that's what happens when your brain is on drugs. So don't do that. That's a bad idea. We've got your moment of duh on the way, and we're going to head.
That's a pretty funny thing that the local did, though.
Yeah,
sure. Here you go.
Yeah, here's a number for call these guys. They can help you.
Up.
Coming up, we do have a moment of duh, and it happens at Walmart. Shocking. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Now your moment of duh. A Walmart store in Tennessee recently hired Cynthia Fraley, and that was a bad idea. A quick check would have maybe told them that she's been shoplifting from that store since 2001. In fact, she was told to stay away from the store, but surprise, surprise, she didn't stay away. Instead, they hired her. She ended up stealing money and merchandise worth about $2,900 this time around. Note to personnel department, maybe next time before you hire them, you might want to just check and see if, they're listed on the wall with all the shoplifters. So I thought that name sounded really familiar.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Thought she was maybe the employee of the month. No, her picture's next to that.
I can't believe she had the guts to apply.
Yeah, she applied and got the job. So she'd been stealing stuff there since 2001, and then she finally thought, hey, let's just get a job there. Then I can really clean them out. So it worked. That's your moment of duh. We've got your Scoop of the Day on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your Scoop of the Day. A new report shows that American kids get 12% of their calories from fast food restaurants. I think it's probably higher than 12%.
I bet it's, yeah.
What could be the world's most valuable cracker, which survived the sinking of the Titanic, will be sold at auction. The Spillers and Bakers cracker was part of a survival kit stored within one of the ocean liner's lifeboats, and it was kept as a souvenir, and they're going to be auctioning it off. Who would want a stale cracker?
Well, I think just owning
probably
something from the Titanic would be.
McDonald's is up and running nationwide with their all-day breakfast, and so far it sounds like that's going pretty good. I have not yet done that. I remember when we were first talking about it.
I'm not a huge fan. I don't do breakfast very often anyway. So,
but when we were talking about it, I was like, that'll be cool. I'm going to do that, and then I never did. So I wonder how it's going to go if people just think they wanted it or if they're really going to actually do it. According to a new study by David Strayer, a psychology professor at the University of Utah, it could be cell phones that are causing traffic congestion. On average, drivers talking on cell phones drive 2 miles an hour slower than non-cell phone talking drivers. David says the distracted drivers tend to drive slower and have delayed reactions. Then people get stuck behind them, and that person makes everybody pay the price. David says distracted drivers using cell phones add about 20 hours a year to the American commuters' trips. I definitely agree. I've seen where the light will turn green and there's somebody in front of me with a little glowing screen up to their face, and I have to toot the horn. I'm like, hey, go. Imagine you, as a parent, have a 2-year-old, and early morning, your 2-year-old bolts out the door without clothes on, and your neighbors call child welfare. What would you do? Turns out no matter what you do, you're going to get in trouble no matter what. This really happened. It's on a website from a couple years ago, a true story. On a warm September morning in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, a naked 2-year-old ran outside of her family's rural home to retrieve her kitten. 2 hours later, a social worker showed up. She said a passerby complained about a nude toddler, and she wanted to talk to each of the family's 4 children alone. The family refused. The father said that he was troubled by the child welfare agency's ability to force themselves upon families without any kind of oversight. A state court ruled against the family and stated that the Fourth Amendment does not apply during child welfare investigations because they aren't initially criminal matters. So they're saying no matter what they did, they weren't going to win anyway. So it's really, somebody drove by and said, hey, there's this kid outside, and it's sad that happened, but that would stink, wouldn't it?
Yeah, wow.
All right, moving on. After leading police in Fremont, California on a chase during which he ran 15 red lights and sidewiped several cars, Michael Anthony Dorsey was finally halted when he slammed his 1980 Corvette into the city jail.
Oh.
He didn't have to go too far from there. Police Captain Mike Lanneman says it's kind of like a drive-up window. So,
oh, wow.
This guy was recklessly driving, going through red lights, doing everything he could to evade the police, and then when it was all said and done, he ended up driving himself right there. Finally, we need a stupid excuse award for this one. A man was caught in a woman's home with her purse in his hand, and the woman woke up and surprised him. His excuse, he said, he was from the neighborhood watch group, and he found her purse and was coming in to return it.
Sure he was. He's just a good Samaritan.
Is this your purse? Yeah, I found it outside. I'm just bringing it here into your bedroom while you sleep. Yeah, good try. All right, time now for our strange law. In Florida, it is illegal to sing in a public place while attired in a swimming suit. So you cannot sing in public while wearing a swimming suit in the state of Florida.
Wow.
I don't know exactly. That's kind of a weird law.
That is a very weird law.
I guess
you got to wonder what brought some of these laws about.
I know. This is one of them. But I guess that's why we call that our strange law. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for joining us on the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest on the program with us today. We're going to be talking about a novel way to explain online bullying to your children using tools like Minecraft and using that as a tool, not a weapon. And we've got Mark Cheverton. And Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, John. How are you?
Very good. Now, Mark, you've got several different books. How many different books do you have out right now?
I have 7 books out right now, and I have more coming out this next year.
And now, what was the very first book that you put out?
So the first book was Invasion of the Overworld, and it was a book that I self-published because I didn't understand the publishing industry. And fortunately for me, it took off like a rocket.
Very good. And then since then, you've done 6 additional books. Now, the books that you put out, are they all kind of hooked together? Like if I read one, I would kind of need to read the first one to go through the series, or can you kind of just pick up any one and they all work?
Yeah, you can pick up any one. There's enough backstory so you understand it, but they're intended to have a common thread woven through the entire series.
Again, the topic we're going to be talking about is online bullying, and that's something that, when I was a kid, there was no such thing because there was no online, but nowadays it's crazy what can happen, and it's amazing to me how so many times kids don't even think about that, but it can really get out of hand. So how does that kind of tie into the books that you have?
To give you a little background here, Minecraft is the most popular downloaded game right now on the internet, and they have over 100 million registered users for the game.
Wow, that's a lot.
Global phenomenon that is remarkable. And my son had to have it, so we got it for him because he said he was going to die without it, and we want to be good parents, of course. So we got it for him, and it's a game where it's kind of like digital Legos. You can build things with blocks, and you can build anything you can imagine. And he made these incredible things. It was just remarkable what he created. So we got him a server version of it where he could play with other kids online. And a bunch of kids came and played with him, and he put something out on the internet saying, here's the IP address, come play on my server. A whole lot of kids came, and they built some stuff collaboratively, and I thought, this is fantastic. I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Then some of the kids that joined came back late one night and destroyed everything.
Oh.
And I learned that this is a thing in online gaming. It's called griefing. and people will go in and destroy other people's creations. It's not a Minecraft phenomenon. It's an online computer gaming phenomenon. And these kids came in and destroyed everything and recorded it and put it on YouTube and made sure he got a link, and they said terrible things about him, and they just flattened everything he built that he spent months and months doing.
And they did this to your 7-year-old son.
Yep. And, who knows how old these two boys were. Maybe they were 10 and 12. Maybe they were 30 and 40. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it was a purposeful, violent act to harm somebody else. So that was pretty terrible. And my son came in really upset to our living room from our office, and he said, "What did I do to deserve this?" Yeah. And so I tried to explain, this isn't about you. I've learned from studying about bullying, it's very common that the victims think they did something to deserve this mistreatment. So, of course, I explained, no, you didn't. It's about them, not you. They don't feel good about themselves, blah, blah, blah. He didn't get it. So I thought, I'm going to teach him about why bullies would do this through the thing he's obsessed with, and that's Minecraft. And so I wrote this book, and I finished writing it, and I got a couple printed, and we read it at bedtime, and he got it. And I thought, oh, great. I'm a genius again. Yay. And so he understood it wasn't his fault. It was that these kids, they're not happy, or who knows what it is with these kids, but it's not his fault. And then just for fun, I self-published it to see what would happen, and it took off like a rocket.
And you found out that your son was not the only person that was being bullied like this. There are probably a lot of parents that were looking for a resource like this, so thanks for doing that.
Yeah, so, it's been remarkable. It became a New York Times bestseller. It's published in 17 countries and now translated into 8 different languages, and it's been really exciting.
And since then, you've added a bunch of other titles. I'm on your website right now, MarkCheverton.com, and I'm looking at your latest here, Saving Crafter. Is that the latest one?
Yep.
I'm looking through all the different titles here. Now, if you've got kids that are into Minecraft, they would absolutely love this. And the neat thing is, it's a way for them to kind of understand some of the other people that are online with them, isn't it?
Absolutely. And in all of these, because I used to be a high school teacher, and I like giving that positive message to kids. All of these have some sort of positive message that's buried not very subtly in the book. And I'm using Minecraft to deliver that message to them. The first 3 books are about bullying and dealing with fear and anxiety. The next 3 books are dealing with how do you deal with sibling relationships and jealousies and interactions. And the next 3 books, Saving Crafter, and the books after that are about parent-child relationships and being responsible.
That's really cool.
All of these have some sort of important lesson that I'd like to say to kids, and when I say it to my son, he rolls his eyes and says, "Dad." But when I put it in a Minecraft book, he reads it, and he says, "Oh, I get it. I understand."
That's really cool. Well, again, if you'd like to get a copy of the book, where can they find these? Are they available in bookstores? Are they available online? Where would they buy a copy?
Online, bookstores, Target, Walmart, Kmart, Barnes & Noble, BJ's, Costco, anywhere that books are sold, you'll find them. They're also available online. See information about them on my website, MarkCheverton.com, and it'll show all the covers and what all the books are about.
Well, we're going to send folks out to check those out. Thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today about it. Again, we've been visiting with Mark Cheverton, and if you've got kids that are into Minecraft, even if you've never heard them talk about bullying, it probably would be a good idea for them to read it, because sometimes maybe they don't talk to you about it. They try to deal with it in their own way. But wouldn't you say this would be a good thing for just about anybody?
Well, yeah, and what I've heard from parents is they read this with their kids at bedtime for some of the younger kids.
Oh, yeah.
And it brought forth that dialogue about bullying because it's sitting right there in the pages.
I was just with my nephews, it was last night, actually, yesterday, and 2 of my 3 nephews were playing Minecraft last night. So talk about hitting close to home. Well, thank you again for doing what you're doing. This is such a great thing, and it's a tool that a lot of parents, I'm sure, have been looking for, which is why these are New York Times best-selling author, or that's why you're a New York Times best-selling author. You've certainly answered a need, so thank you for doing that.
Great. Thank you very much for having me on.
And again, Mark Cheverton has been our guest. If you'd like to know more, you can find him on, if you go wherever you buy your books, I bet you'll find him there. But if you can't, check out his website, MarkCheverton.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Friday, the 16th day of October, and today is National Feral Cat Day. So celebrate with your favorite feral cat.
Alrighty.
It's also National Department Store Day. It is Dictionary Day, and if you don't believe me, you can look it up. It's also National Sunday School Teacher Appreciation Day, World Toy Camera Day, and World Food Day. All of those things going on this Friday, the 16th day of October. Of those, which one do you think I'm going to celebrate?
I have no idea.
I'm going to celebrate World Food Day, thank you.
Alrighty.
Because to me, that one sounds the most delicious. And I might
sounds the most delicious.
I might celebrate Dictionary Day by looking some things up, but I don't use dictionaries anymore. I use the internet.
Yeah.
I don't even use dictionary.com. I use Google. So, but I understand that there are people who still use dictionaries. I just ain't one of them. So there you go.
You ain't one of them.
I ain't one of them. But I'll still celebrate with you if you guys want to celebrate. You bring the food. It's also World Food Day. Today is Friday, the 16th day of October.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Thank you so much for listening on a Friday. I got a fun story here. It's called Protective Pizza. That is the headline. You know, that's going to catch my attention.
Okay.
Because when you see something like that, you just got to know what's going on. Well, take a listen to this. A recent study shows that if you want to avoid skin cancer, you might want to have more pizza in your diet. German scientists say that pizza, can protect you from skin cancer.
I love pizza. I could eat pizza every single day and not get sick of it.
Pizza has a unique mix of ingredients that are perfect combination to keep out the harmful UV rays. I don't understand exactly how they're keeping out the harmful UV rays. Anyway, I'll keep reading. Our research proves that for the first time in history, the effect normal supermarket groceries have on the skin. Oh, I see. Says a spokesperson for the Dusseldorf University. The professor says their research builds on the recent discovery that just 2 ounces of tomatoes and olive oil per day can more than triple your skin's natural ability to protect itself from even the most scorching sun.
Really?
Tomatoes give the skin basic protection, and the research say that they warn that sunblock creams should still be used. You shouldn't just eat pizza.
I don't need any sunscreen.
You need some pizza. No, I had pizza for lunch. Okay. But they're saying you should still use sunscreen too, but they're saying if you eat pizza, and it sounds to me like the two main ingredients would be the olive oil and the tomatoes. So those are the two things. So I'm assuming, this is just me assuming, I don't know, I'm not a scientist at Dusseldorf University, but if you just ate those two things in any combination, wouldn't you think that'd still be good?
Well, yeah, but they're saying that you typically find them in pizza, so you might as well eat the pizza.
Or if you just want to fry up some tomatoes in your olive oil, that might work too.
We should do that for lunch today.
What's
sounds
that?
Good. Pizza?
Pizza? Oh, I thought maybe you meant the frying up some tomatoes and olive oil, because that doesn't sound good. Anyway, that's from Dusseldorf University if you want to check it out. I only wanted to say Dusseldorf one more time, and I squeezed it in twice. Coming up, Show and Smell. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
If you're shopping for cologne on the internet, that's not easy. After all, how do you know what it's going to smell like, right?
Right.
Soon, that could change. Enter iSmell. It's a device that will create the scent of your choosing. Using a mixture of a few scented oils, the device will emit scents based on digital instructions sent over the internet or embedded in a computer program. The product, which has a bit of a nose shape to it, is still in development, and the makers are envisioning the device to be used to sell products, but they also think that it could be a way for people to send scented emails and video games to include certain scents to enhance the game. I don't think there's anything I've ever seen on the internet that I've said, I want to smell that.
I wish I could smell that. No, I agree.
I don't really think there's any. And if you're trying to figure out what a scent smells like to buy cologne, go to a store and buy
shopping.
your cologne. I mean, come on. How lazy are we? Go to the store and buy it. That's what they're there for. Go there. They have samples. You can spray them all over yourself and walk out of there smelling pretty. So do that. All right. Coming up, we've got some good news to share. That's on the way. And before we get to the good news, if you're a boss, you're going to want to keep listening for this next thing. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at gunup.com.
A TV news reporter demonstrates how easy it is for terrorists to poison a water supply in Nashville, but ends up being a little bit embarrassed about it. Nashville's Channel 5 reporter Robert Manning, wanted to do some hard-nosed, in-depth news reporting on terrorism and show just how easy it is. Of course, he thought it would be great for his own career as well. So the local government, at the local government's expense, he brought the cameras to show a few hundred yards from the city's water supply just how easy they could, contaminate the city's water from inside the fence. Robert Manning, big shot reporter, said, "It's not too hard to crawl underneath the fence. Took me less than 20 seconds." He mocked the city's recent announcement that they were posting more guards around the plant. What he didn't see was he didn't see any guards at all. His in-depth reporting was going so well, he was going to win some kind of award, right? One problem. Turns out he broke into their sewage treatment plant and proved just how easy it is to
break into a sewage
contaminate the sewage.
The contaminated water. Oh, that's funny.
He gets an award, all right. It's just not the one he won. All right, stick around. We got some fun stuff on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Hey, if you're a boss, you might not want to be so quick to ban Facebook and Twitter from the office because you might be doing yourself a disservice when it comes to productivity. How crazy does that sound?
It
sounds
that's
backwards.
Completely off, yeah.
No, now let's listen. This is from How Stuff Works. Although most people think of social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter as time wasters, a number of studies now have shown just the opposite. In fact, studies have shown that employees who use social networking sites are 9% more productive than those who don't. What do you think of that?
Okay. I disagree, but okay.
Well, how could sites that take you away from the task at hand make you more productive? Researchers credit social networking sites with giving workers needed brain breathers. When you take a couple of minutes to check up on people and organizations that you follow on Twitter, your mind gets a break from the tedious work that you're doing at work. Therefore, when you go back to work, you're going back to work with a sharper axe. I used to work with a guy that he always used the axe analogy. And he said, who would chop down more trees? Somebody who was chopping all day nonstop, or somebody that was taking breaks every hour? And the answer, most people would say, well, the guy chopping all day. And his answer was no. It's the guy that takes breaks every hour because he has a chance to take a drink. He has a chance while he's resting to sharpen his axe, and he's going to get a lot more done because when he's actually chopping at that tree, he's using a sharper axe and he's a little bit rested, so he's going to chop way more. Now, I never held him to the test, although I wanted to. I wanted to bring an axe to work and say, you start chopping right now, and then we'll test you again next week after you sharpen the axe. But I do understand the analogy, don't you?
Sure. I expect now from here on out that I won't get yelled at for being on Candy Crush.
No, you're sharpening your axe.
Yeah, okay.
I've never yelled at you. I've just said, hey, when you're done with Candy Crush, if you could get this work done. I've never told you to quit playing Candy Crush. I always say, when you're done, I just make sure I say it in a very, derogatory way.
Snide and condescending
manner. When you're
manner.
done with Candy Crush, you've got to call in line 4. All right. We don't even have a line 4. Coming up, we've got some good news to share. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
We always like to end the program with something positive, and sometimes it's kind of tough. I search high, I search low, I look all over the place, and I try to find something good to talk about. Heidi, I should put you in charge of this. But I think your idea of something to share and my idea are two completely different ideas.
Very definitely.
Yeah. But this is something you might have actually stumbled upon because it comes from the world of Yahoo. Now, I'm not a Yahoo guy. I'm a Google guy. But you're a Yahoo girl.
I like Yahoo.
When I go on your computer, I click on there, and there's always Yahoo. And guess what I found?
What'd you find?
I found this. Yahoo Travel has released their state-by-state guide of the 50 coolest things in America. Ranging from caverns in Alabama to Ronald Reagan's rifle in Wyoming, the guide picks out one fun and unique place to stop in each of the 50 states in the entire nation. You can find a cool little spot in your own little area, and that's on Yahoo if you want to check it out. But I think that's kind of a cool thing. Yahoo Travel came up with that. Here's the thing. How do they do this? How do they come up with the coolest thing in every state? Is that voted on people who visit here, or is it voted on people who actually live here?
They probably just searched the state and whatever popped up first. They said, all right, we'll use that.
We did one a couple weeks ago. We talked about one that was done based on the most Instagrammed places in every state. And then I went on and I clicked on every state that I have ever been to, and I disagree with it almost completely. Some of the stuff on it, I'm like, really? That's the best of the state? No. Just because it was the most Instagrammed doesn't mean that people liked it. They might have been saying, what a waste of time.
Exactly.
Going all the way out of my way to see this. So there you go. Check it out if you want to. Again, Yahoo Travel put that together. But I thought it was kind of a neat thing. And for those of you who are going to be doing some traveling, you might want to, see where you should go. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you again for joining us on the John and Heidi Show. We appreciate you tuning in. If you'd like a link to that travel thing, I'll post it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break, only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. We're going to tell you how to find them here in a second. But first, let me tell you why you should want to find them. You're going to save money. And you're going to have sharp razors, not those dull things you've been using, scratching your face up. Who wants to use that? I mean, seriously. You used to buy me razors from the store. What'd you pay for those razors?
$1 for a package of 10.
Yeah, they were terrible. Even on the first day, when they were brand new, I would pull out a package, these chintzy little things from the dollar store. I'd start shaving. I'd be halfway done, and I'm already getting razor burn. And then I have to throw that one away and grab another one. So when I talk about saving money, Heidi always laughs because she's like, no, I saved all kinds of money. Those things that I got you that were made in China, that were used recycled car parts, and you could still read the label of the car on there. They were awful razors. And then you did start buying me the nice ones because
It was $5 for a package of 10. $5 for $1.
But I'm saying you actually got me some really nice ones with like the interchangeable heads and the remember those?
Yeah, like 3 different times I did. They were so expensive.
But here's the thing.
And I had an anxiety attack.
Do you remember why we bought those in the first place?
Because we got the razor for free.
We did. We were staying
vacation.
somewhere. We were on vacation, and there was a place like a bed and breakfast or whatever, a home that we stayed at, and they had these razors there, and they said right on there, take them. They're free. And I was like, awesome. I'm like, I'm going to come back next week. so I got some free ones, and I worked my way through. They had a couple of different razor heads. I think I held on to that for like a year and a half. And even at its dullest, it was still better than those cheap things that you bought me on their best day. But the cool thing is, with Dollar Shave Club, you don't have to worry about that, because they ship them right to your door, so you don't have to go out looking for them. And they're sharp, and they're good, and they're nice razors. I've tried all 3 different levels now. You can go on and check them out. There's one for $3 a month, one for $6 a month, one for $9 a month. Get whichever one you want to try. I'll tell you, I like the $9 a month best. It's the executive, and they really are good razors. You steal them from me all the time.
I do.
So does Troy. He's our son that's 18. And pretty soon he'll be joining the Navy and leaving our house, and he's not going to have access to my razors. So what's he going to do then, Troy? And if you would like to get your own razors, go to dollarshaveclub.com/radio and check those things out. All right, got a couple stories for you here. First, 4 police officers in Waukegan, Illinois were injured during a 6-hour class designed to teach police officers how to reduce injuries while subduing officers. According to the chief, Philip Stevenson, 3 of them suffered injuries at the hands of other officers. The 4th broke his toe when he stumbled on a foam mat that was there to protect people.
Oh, my gosh. That's funny.
It is. I think that's really funny. All right, moving over here. 36-year-old Christopher Ward and his common-law wife, Christina Chaston, moved into a nice 2-story home. Like everyone else who moves into a new home, they had their phone connected and their water hooked up and their cable and electricity hooked up and their answering machine, their computer, and all that stuff. A real estate agent drove by the house after they moved in and noticed something strange about the whole scenario. Randy Sons later called the police and told them that the property that was supposed to be vacant was anything but. Police arrived, and the home that these people were in, they were summons for trespassing. He apparently noticed the empty house and decided to move in, and they were there for about a month before anybody even noticed. the home that they moved into, it wasn't theirs.
Oh.
They just saw a home. They're like, hey, I like this. Let's move in. So they moved into a home and didn't buy it. It was just vacant. So they're like, hey, we're here. We got another story about that later in the. It'll be next week. I found a story that it's going to be part of our "This Is Your Brain on Drugs" next week.
I've heard of that happening to many of our veterans that are gone, and then they come home and there's someone in their house, and it's
hard to get them to leave.
It's impossible because they have rights because they're in the house. So
they
have
have
the rights, and the homeowner should have the rights.
There should be no rights if you're there illegally.
Awful.
There should be no rights.
It's a nightmare for these people that have been away serving our country, and they come home, there's someone in their home, and they're treated like garbage. They're not even given the rights that they should have to get back into their own house.
An elusive thief broke into the Ament Bacon Goods Factory in Monroe, Michigan, 3 times in the last couple weeks, each time getting away with about 50 pounds of chocolate chips. The latest break-in was discovered when workers found chips scattered across the office floor, an open newspaper on a desk. The stolen goods are worth about $100, and he's been in there 3 times.
Must really like chocolate chips.
They're looking for Keebler Elf. 27-year-old thief broke into a house in Dortmund, Germany, while the family who lived there was on vacation. The would-be burglar fell asleep on the bed and was discovered by a neighbor who was coming to water the plants. The neighbor realized there had been a break-in when he heard snoring coming from the bedroom. Police woke the would-be burglar and took him away for questioning. In Cedar Rapids, Iowa, a teenager pointed his BB gun at the wrong car. The car stopped, and 2 undercover officers pulled out their real handguns. They ordered the 15-year-old to drop his gun. He said, I was just playing around, trying to scare people during a little,
that's
late
not
night.
Smart.
So, it turns out that he was the one that got the scare. And finally, in Crestview, Florida, 48-year-old Donald Leon May entered an empty residence without permission and proceeded to take a shower. This is the 3rd time we're talking about people that are breaking into homes. According to police reports, he entered the home through an unlocked back door. While he was in the shower, a boy who thought his dad was home entered the bathroom and realized that that's not my dad.
Oh my gosh!
May told the boy that President Obama let him in. The boy and then told the boy to leave. The boy went to a neighbor's house and called police. May was still in the house with nothing on but a towel when the police got there. May said the yellow brick road brought him to Crestview, so he was arrested. Apparently the guy's crazy.
Yeah, he must have,
Yeah. How'd you get in my house? President Obama let me in. Okay. How'd you get here, sir? Down the yellow brick road.
Wow, yeah.
If you're working on an insanity defense, you're doing
great.
All right, that's going to do it for your bonus break. Brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. I already told you why you should check it out. I hope you do. DollarShaveClub.com/radio.